Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm in West Bromwich, and today I'm going to visit a road that was the scene of horrific murders back in 1978. These murders shocked the nation and they occurred here in West Bromwich in Andrew Road on the Bussellow Mill Estate. So let's go and have a look and see what this area is like today. I'm here not far from the Charleyman Farm Estate, walking down a lane called Bussellow Lane, and this is near to Andrew Road, where back in 1978 some 3 murders took place. Bussellow Lane, and just over here now is Andrew Road. See, stretches, Andrew Road stretches right down to the bottom there, and where we're going is up this particular part of Andrew Road. It's a very kind of 60s type estate. Lots of houses all seem to be crammed together. They all look as though they are semi-detached. And we even have a bus that comes down here, the number 66. Yeah, it was back here on the 28th of October of 1978, when at around 7 p.m, a man called Barry Williams, who lived with his parents at number 14 Andrew Road, decided to go on a mad rampage with his gun. I believe he shot around 23 rounds of bullets that night, and what triggered it appears that he'd had a dispute with his neighbours at number 16, the Burkitts. That night, George Burkitt and his son Philip were working on a Triumph Spitfire car, and whether it was the noise or what, but it infuriated him. He came out and fired at George Burkitt, who shot him dead, and then Philip ran towards the house where he was shot. And I understand then he entered the property of number 16 Andrew Road. He shot George's wife dead, Iris. He also shot at the 17-year-old daughter, who was hit with around about half a dozen bullets, where miraculously she survived. But it was absolute carnage, because then he got in his Ford Capri and he sped off in this direction along Stanhurst Way, leaving behind a truly horrific scene. When the neighbours had witnessed what was going on, they also came out of the house and they were shot at as well. The property here, just there, that was where Barry Williams lived with his parents, and the neighbours here, the Burkitts, lived next door. And this is what it looks like today. It's rather different to what it was back in 1978, where there was the frontages are all different now, and there was lawns at the front of the property. But Barry Williams got in his battered Ford Capri and escaped along Stanhurst Way. And then as he was driving, he shot through his car window at 2 young boys playing football in Stanhurst Way, which we'll show you now. Stanhurst Way just ahead here. and also a woman. Nobody was killed or injured, but it so easily could have been worse. But yet he came along here in his Ford Capri. He sped along this road here, firing at the two young boys and a woman up here. They was probably playing football around on this particular area. We got the M5 motorway and the Tame Valley Canal that runs behind. It's quite a sedate scene today, with all these mature trees that are growing around. But that wasn't the end of the carnage with Barry Williams, because he then, as he drove through Stanhurst Way, he made his way towards Wednesbury, where he fired at a barbershop window. He was just firing indiscriminately. He stopped at a petrol station in Walsall, where he didn't pay for his petrol. He then carried on towards Nuneaton, where he went to another petrol station there, and there he fired at the owners, who were both killed. And then that night, that was around about 8:10, and then after that he then slept in Woodland overnight, and the next morning he was arrested on a high-speed chase, ending up with his arrest in Buxton. He was tried and sentenced indefinitely in Broadmoor when he was released in around, was it 1993? In 1993, when he was released, he changed his name to Harry Street. And then, of course, the police didn't know of his whereabouts. They didn't even know his change of identity. And he then terrorised another neighbour in Hall Green in Birmingham before he was arrested again. But in this property at number 14, when they entered number 14, they found there was even homemade bombs in there. The parents said he was a quiet lad. They was totally shocked at what he had done. And when they raided his house in Hall Green, they found he was planning something similar to his neighbours there also. And they found guns, bombs, bullets. Amazing that he was ever released in the first place. He was finally sentenced again, but when he was sentenced, he died in prison in 2014 with a suspected heart attack. But to think of all the carnage that took place here on that night in October of 1978. And now you look at it, this peaceful, sedate scene, you would never imagine that such terrible murders actually took place here on Andrew Road. Okay then folks, so that was just a quick look at a murder scene that happened in 1978. Quite an horrific incident really, it shocked the nation. And Barry Williams was supposedly suffering with some kind of psychiatric problem, but it was amazing that his parents didn't even know what he was actually up to in their own house. Okay then folks, so we'll leave it at that. And if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.